Evening and welcome to Prime Business. I am Pius Kujubaka. Economist Courage Buti has predicted that the cost of borrowing will drop drastically in the coming months following the reduction in the policy rate to 25% from 28%. According to him, so far, 3 of the variables that influence the cost of lending have all reduced sharply over the period. Thus, the expected drop in interest rates for businesses and households. Reacting to the significant drop in the key lending rate by the Bank of Ghana, Macroeconomic Research Manager GCB Bank PLC Courage Buti said this would have great impact on private sector investment and support for ongoing economic recovery efforts.
We are seeing the trend. In fact, three major variables influence the GR. The policy rate is one, T-bill rate is another, and then I think there is one other rate, which I don't readily recall now. And of course, cash in vote and a few others. 3 of those variables have behaved. In fact, the last one I was trying to recall is interbank rate. All of those are coming down quite sharply. So the expectation is that lending rate will come down. And I told you what the governor said his intent is to bring lending rates to 10% by the end of his tenure, really. And so if policy rate, which is an influencing factor, will come down, we expect it to come down further. If T-bill is around 10%, and if we can sustain it there, and if the interbank lending rate would also come down, cash in vote, I think, is fixed at 2% or so. If you put those variables together, we should see drastic declines in the GR, which is the benchmark. And then, of course, lending rate to respond accordingly. So that is the expectation, and that is how they intend to stimulate growth without necessarily encouraging direct government expenditure into growth enhancing or real sector. Create the environment for private sector to invest, borrow at a lower cost and invest. You will produce more goods, you reduce inflation, and you create jobs.
The International Monetary Fund has reiterated the critical need for Ghana and other sub-Saharan African countries to prioritize the establishment of an operationally independent central bank. Speaking at the World Economic Outlook update in the United States, the IMF chief economist Pierre Olivier emphasized that such independence is essential for ensuring price and economic stability.
Restoring stability in trade policy is essential to reduce policy uncertainty. We urge all parties to settle trade disputes and agree on clear and predictable frameworks. Collective efforts should be made to restore and improve the global trading system. The need for predictable and stable rules extend to other areas of policymaking. It is important to reaffirm and preserve the principle of central bank independence. The evidence is overwhelming that independent central banks with a narrow mandate to pursue price and economic stability are essential to anchoring inflation expectations. That central banks around the world achieved a successful soft landing despite the recent surge in inflation owes a great deal to their independence and hard-earned credibility. Restoring fiscal space remains a priority for many countries. Even where new spending needs are emerging, efforts must be made to implement gradual and credible consolidation while protecting growth. Lastly, as global growth remains tepid, more efforts must be made to increase long-term productivity through structural reforms.
Leading indigenous bank GCB Bank PLC has launched the GCB Bank mobile bank app Digital Salary Advance feature, the feature which allows salaried workers to apply for short-term credit facilities of up to 20,000 cedis can be accessed on the GCB banking app, so solving interim liquidity needs of customers. Speaking at the launch, Executive Head of Retail Banking at GCB Bank PLC, Sina Kamagati, said the bank is committed to deepening financial inclusion through digital innovation. More in this report.
The Digital Salary Advance feature, which can be found on the GCB Bank app, seeks to offer convenience, simplicity, and speed to customers in accessing soft loans and short-term credit facilities. With 4 simple steps, you can access 80% of your salary as an advance in less than a minute, making it timely. Sina Kamagati explains the rationale behind this innovation.
Life is not linear. There are challenges midway. And so when you have emergencies, how do you deal with those emergencies? And sometimes these emergencies don't go beyond 2 days. They are 30 minutes and you need to be sorted. So how do people who have such emergencies get support? I mean, we are all Ghanaians. You have to call your next door neighbor, call your classmate for help. And in most of the cases, they don't even show up. And so what GCB is saying is that if you are a salaried worker and you have taken salaries 3 times through us, you don't need to go to anybody at all for help when you need help. You can advance you 80% of your salary, and it's freedom, it's convenient. You do it right at your place.
The feature is crafted with robust cybersecurity architecture to ensure the protection of applications and transfers.
GCB has embarked on a digital transformation that actually no monies as they come through. What we are saying is that your salary advance is going to be repaid only with your salary. So other credits you receive in the account remain your credit to use. But when your salary comes through, the system is intelligent enough to read that this is the salary, and then the system would deduct the amount to be repaid. That's not just it, that's an automatic repayment. The other option you have is that you took the money today, tomorrow you have a windfall. You can actually go onto the app and repay manually.
Mr. Kamagati shares what makes the innovation different from the rest.
To drive it home, let's assume that you took 100 Ghana cedis. At the end of the month, you paid 2 cedis 17 pesos as interest, and then 2 cedis 50 pesos as the processing fee. So in all, what you pay is not up to 5 cedis. You take 100 Ghana cedis and you pay less than 5 cedis as your charges to GCB.
The successful launch of the GCB Digital Salary Advance feature on its app makes the indigenous bank the first in Ghana to offer instant salary advances with no paperwork. According to GCB, applicants who are able to apply for a credit facility using the digital feature before July 31st will enjoy 0 interest rates.
Ghana is the 6th ranked country in Africa with exports to China, the Standard Bank Economy 2025 Outlook report has revealed. Ghana's total exports to China are estimated at 8.2%. More in this report.
Angola, Zambia, Mozambique and Namibia ranked 2nd, 3rd and 4th respectively. Their share of total exports to China were estimated at 45%, 28.7%, 17% and 15% respectively. The report stated that sub-Saharan Africa economies are reliant on robust external demand from China. The report said key exports may still face downside risks to growth over the coming years should U.S. tariffs become detrimental for economic activity in China. The report revealed that the Democratic Republic of Congo, Zambia and Angola have a sizable concentration of their exports that are routed to China. In Angola, around 45% of their total exports of goods go to China, while in the Democratic Republic of Congo, it is higher at around 48%. In Zambia, this ratio is also elevated at around 28.7%. However, this is lower in other economies, such as Botswana at 7.2%, Ethiopia 8.4%, Ghana 8.7%, Kenya 2.8%, and Nigeria at 3.3%.
Government has announced the reintroduction of road tolls later this year. The Minister for Roads and Highways, Kwame Gavin-Sagboja, disclosed this when his ministry disclosed the government's accountability series. The minister has been giving more details on how the money will be collected as well.
The maintenance regime. Cabinet has given approval for the reintroduction of road and bridge tolls with a focus on modernizing the collection of these tolls. We have done the transition that we want to transition to electronic and automated tolling system, enhance transparency and auditability of revenue inflows, improve user experience and reduce congestion at toll points. The ministry has launched a concessionaire pre-qualification process so far. Public advertisements have been done. A pre-qualification conference was held on the 3rd of July 2025. 12 firms have submitted applications currently under evaluation. Proposed new toll rates have been submitted to Parliament via Ministry of Finance to determine the rates we are going to be charging when the toll is implemented. We are hoping that this will be based on electronic platform. There will be no physical barriers in on any road, and the tolling would only apply to roads that are engineered.
Let's stay a while longer on our roads because experts in the supply and logistics chain have called for the dismantling of transport unions to enable an effective transportation of goods and services across the country. Speaking at the Supply Chain Business Forum and Exhibition, Professor Nathaniel Busso, Director at the Center for Applied Research and Innovation in Supply Chain Africa, explained that reducing the influence of transport operators will support the smooth haulage of logistics and the effective delivery of government's trade and agricultural policies, such as the 24-hour economic program.
Just overhaul the entire system, transportation system, overhaul it. Reliant on these truck drivers and GPI, just dismantle them and rebuild a transportation system that can efficiently move goods and services and people across the country. GPITU is not really a private sector, it's a union that is protecting a cabal of operators. Therefore, they are not really private. If you want to really introduce private sector transportation system, dismantle GPITU. I know they will not like what I'm saying, but the point is, GPITU is a problem. Let's empower transport operators to operate modern transportation system. Let them be free to operate, and let them make it such that businesses can just log in online, order trucks, and it will be delivered. Let people go online, book transportation from Accra to Kumasi. It should be done. GPS should step aside. They are not the business. So to me, I don't know how to put it in a way that is nicer, other than to say that it's part of the problem. We can introduce a system that will make the inflow of GPS becoming less and less and less, and eventually irrelevant. And then business transport operators become free to innovate, bring new transportation system to make it easier.
And to some other business stories, the Ghana Hubs Network is scaling up efforts to decentralize innovation and digital transformation across the country. At the launch of this year's Ghana Digital and Innovation Week, chairperson of the Ghana Hubs Network, Yao Edujemfi, revealed that the initiative now spans to 6 regions with a goal to reach all 16. Rosela Calistego reports.
At the launch of this year's Ghana Digital and Innovation Week, chairperson of the Ghana Hubs Network, Yao Edujemfi, said the launch has grown from an Accra-based event to a national movement. Now in its 5th year, the program has expanded to 6 regions with a goal to reach all 16. It aims to empower youth and women by showcasing digital tools, innovative projects, and job creation opportunities.
What we are trying to do is to be able to go to all corners of our regions, which is 16 regions. The idea is that in these regions, we're able to showcase innovation and digital projects that are ongoing in the regions, the innovation and digital opportunities in these regions, and more importantly, how innovation and digital technologies can be leveraged for job and skills building, which is very important for young people and women. So government is already with us through the Ministry of Communication and of course also through their agency, the National Entrepreneurship and Innovation Program. But we want government at that level, at the regional level, to be to be able to galvanize support. Because what we are trying to demonstrate and showcase is that we are also showcasing the potential of these regions. So we want government at the local level to be able to also be excited about this opportunity and be able to join in the road to GDIW and ensure that at the regional level we have that participation, that engagement as we have at the national level.
President of the IoT Network Hub, Joshua Poku Ajiman, highlighted the growing role of young innovators in driving Ghana's digital future. He says platforms like GDIW give young tech minds the visibility and encouragement they need to build solutions for local challenges.
Over the past 4 years, we've been the poster child for GDIW from 2021 to 2024 and to this year as well. The platform has served as a place where young people like ourselves, who are very innovative, who like to build things, we get a free platform to come and showcase our innovation. The first year it was exciting to see the Vice President visit our booth and taking a picture with us and post it on his social media. So when we saw that, we were excited about how our leaders also are excited about what we're building, and this goes a long way to encourage young people like us to keep building and solving the problems around our society. Over the past 4 years, our journey through GDRW has been amazing. We got the opportunity to also host programs to educate a lot of young people, parents and teachers on technology as part of the conferences as well. Last 2-3 years, we built a lot of technologies like drones, robots, and it gives us a platform to engage with a lot of young people, students, to also inspire them to seek to also build solutions as well.
Organizers say they are counting on stronger regional and private sector support to scale innovation and digital inclusion across all 16 regions by 2025. The main event will be held from the 12th to the 14th of November 2025 at the Accra International Conference Center.
The Ghana Mine Workers Union of TUC has commended the current leaseholder and operators of the Bogoso Pristia Mine, Health Goodfields Limited, for paying a significant portion amounting to about 80 million cedis of the total indebtedness owed workers of the mine. According to the union, this step is in fulfillment of one of the key conditions for the grant of the leases and has undoubtedly brought some relief to its members and their families of Bogoso Pristia Mine. Abdul Mumin Bana is the General Secretary of the Ghana Mine Workers Union of TUC.
For the past 10 months, these workers hadn't been paid any salaries. And so when the current lease holder, Heath Goldfields, took over the mine, the expectation was for this commitment to be settled. Unfortunately, it was all fraughted with a lot of legal tussles, legal challenges here and there. Thankfully, we appear to have surpassed that era of legal tussles. Heath Goldfields have gone ahead to make some payments to our members. And I must say that that bold step has brought a lot of relief to our members in the Bogoso Pristia mine. We are hopeful. We are hopeful that given the commitment of Heath Goldfields, and for that matter, the decision to recruit some smart, young, mining professionals who are Ghanaians to take over this challenge and turn around the mine, we have no doubt. We have no doubt that the Bogoso Pristia mine will be on its feet very soon.
In a bid to enhance food safety, improve transparency and ensure regulatory compliance, the National Biosafety Authority is stepping up efforts to engage the public and industry players on critical regulatory changes. More in this report.
The engagement featured presentation on Ghana's biosafety regulatory framework, practical discussions on non-GMO certification, and interactive Q&A sessions that allowed stakeholders to express concerns and propose solutions. Speaking to Joy Business, Member of Parliament for Swami in the Ashanti region reiterated the importance of aligning biosafety regulations with Ghana's broader agricultural goals and trade ambitions.
Eventually, they will have to discuss that with the Ministry of Finance and then or come to Parliamentary Committee on subsidiary legislation. We'll look at it before it is actually passed. Clearly, they need resources. I see they have a lot of work to do, and so they will need a lot of resources to execute them. And so yes, I am very positive. I'm a member of the legislation committee, so I'm sure I'll be their voice on the committee, and hopefully it will be passed for them to be able to get some resources to run the institutions.
On that spot, Chief Executive Officer of the National Biosafety Authority, Kwame Dare Asamoah-Ochre, emphasized the importance of collaboration in maintaining public trust and ensuring international trade competitiveness.
Since the beginning of the year. So we've been working on strengthening our non-GMO certification application process for people who are interested in acquiring non-GMO certification. There are some people whose clients want them to have non-GMO certification for goods that are being exported.
As Ghana seeks to expand its role in regional and global trade, credible and traceable non-GMO certification systems backed by robust testing mechanisms are becoming increasingly critical. The NBA stakeholder dialogue is a proactive move toward building a safer, more transparent food system for all.
That's our package by way of Prime Business. I am Pius Kojo Baka. Prime Sources next.